WordPress. Okay, so you've decided that, or you might have, or maybe you're just thinking about it. You want a WordPress site, and it is time to learn a little bit about WordPress and what some of the different words are and what they mean. So, themes, plugins, pages, posts. Oh my, let's talk about it. Right now, we are looking at the dashboard for my WordPress website. And on the left hand side of the screen, you have your basic navigation for all throughout the back end of your WordPress website. So first, let's talk about what is a theme. If we go under Appearance and go to Themes, the themes control the overall look of the website. So every website, you want to have some consistency between the home page and the inner pages, the header at the top, the footer at the bottom, the overall layout. There's a lot of power in themes. There are a lot of different themes that can give you great control over the look and aesthetics of your website. But you want to just start with a theme that gives you the general overall aspect. For this particular website, and admittedly, when I created my website, I threw it up in about 5 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes. But I used a theme that was free and readily available the moment I was ready to go. In this case, we're using the men's theme. There are several other themes installed in the back panel of my website. And if I wanted to, I could say live preview on this other one. So let's do a live preview. Let's check it out. Let's see what that one would look like. It would look like this. Okay, so that's what my website would look like with this particular theme. If I wanted it, I could hit activate and publish. I don't. So I'm going to hit the X and back out of it. And if I wanted to see what this one looks like, I can hit live preview. And we'll check this one out. That's like even worse, right? So sometimes when you have a theme installed and you move to another theme, it doesn't always move everything over quite right either. And that's what's great about looking at the themes. The live preview function lets you figure out if a theme is going to work for your website. Now, I will say this while I'm on this page right here, while I'm on the topic of themes. Once you have a theme that you like, that you want to use, it's a good idea to go ahead and delete the themes that you're not using. It just frees up space on your server, and freeing up space on your server can mean all kinds of good things, from performance enhancements to just having more space so you're not paying out the wazoo for your plan. So if I want to delete a theme, I'm going to click on that theme, and it's going to give me some information about it. And I can come all the way down here in the bottom right hand corner. Let me move me so you can see where I am. Okay, all the way down here in the bottom right hand corner, and there's the delete button. And then it's going to pop up with a, hey, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Okay, delete it. And then, kapow, that one's gone. In fact, let's do another one. Let's delete this one too. These are just not themes that I'm ever going to use on this website. The other thing you'll notice is at the top of the theme, there's a yellow bar that says a new version is available, update now. There are a lot of different things about your WordPress website that you're going to want to update periodically. And by periodically, I mean check in with it probably once a week to see if you have updates that you need to perform. And I haven't performed updates on my themes in a while on this website, so let's do it. New version available, update now. I'm going to hit that because that's my active theme. That's the one we're using. You'll see that it says updating. And in just a minute, there we go, updated. Now my theme is updated. If I want to check out and make sure that this hasn't messed anything up, I can come up to the top of the screen here and hit visit site, and it will let me see what my website looks like. So here's what my website looks like right now, and updating the theme has not made my website any less ugly than it already is. So let's go back. I'm just going to hit the back button, and that's themes. If I wanted to add a new theme, I can come and hit add new, and then you get a ton of different themes to look at. And so here's my first tip about looking at the themes. You're going to see some themes that look really cool in the previews, and then you find out that when you install them, it's nothing like that when you get it on your website, at least not until you pay for it. So play with it, and you now know how to delete a theme. So download some, try them out. If you don't like the live preview, delete them and move on. That's themes. Themes are going to control the overall look of your website. Plugins bridge the gap between what your website is presenting to the public and what you want it to do. It's a little tool to make it do something extra. So let's take a look at my plugins. If I go to my plugins, here's my list of plugins, and I don't have a ton of plugins. Again, I threw the website together in like 5 seconds. But for instance, here's a Call Now button plugin. And this is a really cool little plugin. So here's what it does. When someone is on my website from their cell phone, then it knows that you're on a cell phone, and it puts a little Call Now button at the bottom of the screen. So if someone wants to be able to reach me through my website, they can hit that button, and it's going to open up the dialer on their phone. But the plugin is smart enough to know that if you're on a desktop computer, don't display the Call Now button. So there's an example of a useful thing that a plugin can do. And let's see here, Ninja Forms. Ninja Forms is a forms plugin. So if I want to create a contact form, contact me, or a poll, or a survey, or anything like that, I might use Ninja Forms or some other forms plugin to make that happen. Because the theme by default doesn't already do that. That's where we're going to get some plugins that will make those things happen for us. Updraft is one that I use for making backups of the website. It will automatically, without me thinking about it, go out and make backups of my website, store it somewhere other than where my website is, and then if something horrible happens, I can go back and reload my website. So plugins do the things that our theme isn't doing for us, or tasks that we need it to WordPress to do that we don't want to have to write ourselves. There's no reason to reinvent the wheel. So if you don't know how to write code, there's usually a plugin out there that already does it for you. It's just a matter of doing a Google search and finding the plugin that makes it happen. So, like we talked about with themes, it's important to update your themes. It's also important to update your plugins. All of my plugins on this website are updated, so I'm going to pop over to another one. And there are a few plugins on here for which there's a new version of Jetpack, there's a new version of Menu Image. So there's a few plugins on this one that need to be updated. Let's look at how to do that. Well, one, I could just hit the update now right here. But if I have several that I want to update at once, I'm just going to go to the top here, and this is a way of filtering our list of plugins: active, inactive, update, available. So I'm going to hit the update available, and it's going to show me just the plugins that need to be updated right now. All right, there we go. Now, so there's the ones that need to be updated, and I'm going to hit the checkbox at the top of the list, because right next to plugin, because that will check them all. And then I'm going to hit bulk actions, update, and then hit apply. And we're going to watch it go through. See, this one says updating, and as soon as that one is done, it'll pop down to this one. You want to leave this page open when you're doing updates. and make sure that everything updates. Sometimes when you try to do a bulk update of your plugins, doing them all at once like this, every now and then one of them won't update correctly. I have particularly noticed that with like the WooCommerce plugin. So we want to make sure that everything goes through and updates, and then if it doesn't, then we're going to hit the update now on the ones that are left over that didn't update for whatever reason. After it updates, very, very important for us to go to the live website and make sure we didn't mess anything up. Now, hopefully you're making backups of your website, maybe even working in a staging site instead of in the live site. I haven't run into too many problems with running updates on plugins. In fact, the biggest problems I've run into is when I'm not updating a plugin. So it's very important to update your plugins, because sometimes, just like our computers, hackers find vulnerabilities in plugins, and they'll find ways to take over your website, and they'll find small little holes that they can get into your website and do bad things, and we don't want that to happen. Like, you want your website to do what it's supposed to do for you, not for some Joe hacker somewhere on the internet. So that's one of the reasons to do one of the biggest reasons to do your updates. Another reason is because for a lot of us, our WordPress itself gets updated, usually by our hosting server. It may happen on its own automatically. Well, you also want to update your plugins to make sure that they're compatible with the current version of WordPress. So do your updates and you'll be good. All right, so there we go. Everything is updated on that one, and that's plugins. Plugins in a breeze. If we want to add a new plugin from the plugins list, we can just hit Add New, and come over here and do a search for the plugin that we want. Let's say we want to do we want to add a YouTube channel to. It would help if I could spell YouTube. YouTube. So we want to add a YouTube channel to our website. When we do a search for YouTube, you're going to get all these different plugins that do different sorts of things. And so what are some things for you to look at on here? Well, like for instance, this one, Your Channel. And I've used this plugin before, and I really like it. However, see where it says untested with your version of WordPress? And last updated 5 months ago. So anything that was updated a long time ago, which to me 5 months is a long time, that gives me pause. But untested with your version of WordPress may mean that the plugin won't work. Versus if I come up to the top here, this first one, I have a little check mark and it says compatible with your version of WordPress. Well, that tells me that this plugin is going to work with the WordPress that I'm using. So that's one of the things you want to look at. You want to look at the reviews and see if it's a good plugin, and see this one was also updated. Last was 2 weeks ago versus 5 months ago, so much better deal than this one here. So if I were looking at adding a plugin for this right now, this is probably the one that I would go with. I would just hit install now and then follow the steps for that plugin to make it work with my website. Okay, posts and pages. What's the difference, right? Okay, so a page is an entire page on your website. Let's go over to a live website, and I'm going to show you the difference between a post and a page. Alright, so this website is one that I've been working on, East Side Local Eatery. This, what we're looking at right now, is the home page. Alright, that's a page. The whole thing from top to bottom is a page. Now, let's go to another page on the website. Let's go to beverages, for instance. That's another page, entirely separate page that it clicked over to. Okay? All right, so let's look at what a post is. Let's go to faithandflavor.com. This is another one that I've been working on. So here we are on the home page. Now, posts can be inserted into the page. So what we're looking at, the whole thing from all the way up here to all the way down at the bottom is the page. But these three things in here are posts. So this is a post that's been inserted into the home page. A post would be your blog post or some other information that may more frequently change. So if I hit read more, it's going to pull up that post on its own page. And there's that particular page for that post. So how do you know if you want to do a post or a page? I like to think of it like this. If it's going to be content that's going to be fairly static, it's probably a page. But if it's going to be content that you're going to keep changing and updating and adding to, it's probably a post. So, for instance, here's the pages on my website. I have an About Us page. That's who I am and what I do. I have a blog page, which is where the posts go. I have a Contact Us page, Frequently Asked Questions page, gallery. Latest Geek News is actually my blog page. Not this one. I'm not using this one. So these are the different pages, right? Now, if I go to posts, this is where I'm telling people some piece of information. So, finished a new site. This is where I'm talking about a website that I recently created. This is where I'm trying to educate people about scams and that kind of thing. So, posts are more current information and that will go on a page. So that's the difference between posts and pages. You can also categorize your posts. We can go over here to categories and see that on my website, because I haven't been blogging and I have very few posts, I have absolutely no categories. So that stinks. Let's go back over to the Faith and Flavor website. Let's go to their dashboard. And let's go to posts, categories. Posts, categories. Alright, so here's the categories. See, this website is information intensive, so there's a lot of information that she's conveying to the public through the posts. And so there are a lot of different categories. And the categories not only help users find the relevant information more easily, but also helps the search engines find the relevant information more easily. You want to think about your categories and consider how they should really function and whether or not some categories should be subcategories of something else. Here's a recipes category, and it goes underneath another one. Let's look at that. Edit. So recipes, and the parent category for that one is cooking videos, which makes sense because if we have a cooking video, then we may have a recipe underneath it. So when you're developing your content and how you want to convey your content to the public, you're probably doing a lot of that stuff over posts. You definitely want to categorize them. Just think about how you want your categories to go. So that is your short dip your toe in the water view of WordPress. And I'd like to keep making videos, so if you found this helpful, please, please, please subscribe and hit the like button. The more people participate and engage with me over YouTube, then the more videos I can make. Thanks. Take care.